Hey, we're going to be talking about structured data. What is structured data? Well, structured data is a piece of code which gives the search engines additional information about your page. It basically gives them more information about your page than they would otherwise understand. So Google uses it to better understand the content of a page, and it uses it to create rich results. Let's try an example, because structured data is a term that really drives me off and probably does you too. Let's talk about a recipe. We can, as humans, we can make sense of a recipe immediately. We've known what recipes look like. We have seen thousands of them in books and online and everywhere. We can make sense of them. When we look at a recipe like this, we immediately know what all these numbers mean and what they represent, what they mean to us. But a search engine is basically a very dumb thing. So we have to give them the metadata to look at that and realize, okay, what does that all really mean? So what extra information do we need to tell the search engines? Well, we need to tell it that this is a name, this is the description, this is for how many people we're cooking, what the cooking time is, and all these other things. These things make sense to us, but they don't to a search engine if we don't add structured data to our markup. With that structured data, we basically use a piece of code to tell to Google, hey Google, this number represents cooking time. And this number here represents calories. And we do this in a markup language called json-ld. There have been several formats to do this kind of structured data. And json-ld is relatively new, but it's the easiest way to do this because it's completely separated from all the markup and design of your page. And then we use a database called schema.org for the structured data itself. Schema.org defines all these pieces of structured data. It defines what a recipe should look like and which entities are within a recipe. So let's see what this looks like in code. We have a blob here that shows you basically a script tag. json-ld blob is basically a JavaScript object blob of content. And then we give it specific pieces. The first line tells it, hey, this is a schema.org based markup. Then this is a recipe, and then we give it all the things below that. It's made by Jamie Oliver. It'll take you 4 hours to cook, which means I'll never cook it because I don't have that long. And it contains 420 calories, which seems not too much if it takes 4 hours to cook. And then at the end, there's the /script, and that closes it off. As you can see, this is completely separate from all the other markup on the page. So there's a couple of takeaways that you should remember after this video. First of all, structured data is a piece of code which provides Google and other search engines with extra information. You should use that structured data to enable Google to display rich results, and you provide the structured data in a markup language called json-ld. You can find all the structured data types in an online database that's actually maintained by all the search engines called schema.org. That's it. Good luck. Hey, you now know a lot more about rich results and why they matter. But as any good teacher will tell you, you're likely to forget 90% of this info if you don't follow it up with some practice. Don't let that happen. Take our free SEO for Beginners training. It has additional reading materials, quizzes, and other tools that help you to actually practice your new skills. When you complete the training, you'll also receive an official Yoast certificate of completion and a discount for our other training courses. Check out the full course in the description below.